tears away. I am hurting. Can you wipe my tears away? Lord, I am broken. Can you wipe my tears away? Lord, I am broken. Put me together again. I'm broken. Put me together again. I am the clay in your hands. Mold me to be just like you, Lord, on the potter's wheel. Waiting on you, Lord, I'll be still. If I get messed up in your hands, you've got the power to make me over again. Broken, put me together again. Broken, put me together again. Lord, I am wipe my tears away. Lord, I am broken all to pieces. Oh, yeah. Put me all together again, Lord. Put me together. I'll draw close to you. In my brokenness, you call me blessed. I'll draw close to you. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh. I'll draw close to you. I'll draw close. My brokenness, you call me blessed. I'll draw close to you. Oh yeah, draw me nearer, nearer to you, Lord. In my brokenness, you call me blessed. I'll draw close to you. I'll draw close to you. In my brokenness, you call me I'll draw close to you. In the midnight hour, you call. When all hope is gone, I'll draw close to you. I'll draw close, I'll draw close, I'll draw close to you, Lord. I'll draw close, I'll draw close to you. I'll draw close to you. In my brokenness, I'll draw close to you. Lord, I am broken. Broken, put me together
That was Broken by Hope
Yes.
Sheree. That was a beautiful, beautiful song because it speaks to humanity.
Yes.
Everybody has some kind of experience that they went through brokenness and healing
Yeah.
and all of that. Thank you so much for joining me, Hope.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Amazing. And this, I'm a host of this podcast, interviewing a host. So,
Yes.
but I want to focus on your music, and based on what I've gathered from everything I've seen online, you are a motivational figure, and you're a broadcaster, and you're a musician, and you're an author, motivational
Yes.
speaker, and you also have been on the Billboard charts in the United States.
Yes.
And then you're the host of A Dose of Hope,
A Dose of
which
Hope Radio.
is international. Dose of Hope Radio. Tell us who Hope is.
Wow, that's a heavy loaded question. Hope is a mother of three, grandmother to two. All the things you mentioned, I do proudly. Just a myriad of things. I love to have fun. I love to laugh. I love to travel. But I just love to have fun. I'm just one of those people who I'm ambitious. You can tell about, just so many things that I've done. I just like to dabble in a little bit of everything. I'm one of those people that will not leave this earth with a
Yes,
rock crying out for me. So that's who I am. That's what I do.
I love it. When did you start singing?
Been singing since I was about 15 years old.
Yeah,
A lot of years. I started out doing, I actually auditioned for the Star Search at 15 years old. And so it kind of went on from there, singing in school, singing when I all the way through high school, and then just started my professional career once I graduated high school. But I've been singing for a long time. Started out in R&B, was singing like R&B style music.
yeah.
I wasn't raised in the church, so I didn't have that background. And then one day I was introduced to the Lord through a wow CD through the Ministry of Music, gave God my life, and been here ever since.
Lovely. So you have this beautiful voice. Your voice is beautiful. It's nice and
Thank you.
clean. And I was watching some of your clips on your YouTube channel, and you did this cover. I think you were in your car. It was dark. I remember the name of the song, but it was nice and jazz and blues. And I was like, wow, that's so clean. And it was live and it was on your phone. I was like, that's nice. But you have merged a kind of gospel sound with soul. How did that come about?
Wow. Again, I came from that whole world of R&B. So when I came into gospel in the year 2000, in the United States, merging gospel with R&B and
Yeah,
all of that just was not a thing, right? And so I was getting so much flack from it, like, well, you sound too urban or you sound too clubbish, go back with that. And so I really over the years have been just trying to stay true to myself, true to my voice. I don't know if you've ever heard of Pastor Andre Crouch.
of
Ran
course.
into him some years back and right before he passed, and he said to me, don't change who you are. He said, if I would have changed who I am, he said, I would never be the like contemporary godfather of gospel. And he
Yeah,
said, so I don't want you to change, who God has made you. Stay consistent. And that's what I've really tried to do over the years, is just, what? I know that I love God. I know that I have a heart for Jesus. I know that I'm on fire for him, but I do it my way. And, and
yeah.
and God has convinced me over the years that that's okay. And so that's what I continue to do. So here I am, this gumbo mesh of R&B, jazz, and gospel.
Yeah, and it's lovely. And because of how we have been taught church, we've been taught that the music needs to sound a particular way. And
Yeah.
I grew up in a very conservative denomination, Adventist.
Hmm.
So we have music a particular way. And it has taken me some time to really appreciate like hip hop and
Yep.
gospel on top of that.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So it's a different way of viewing music and being blessed by it. I want to share something with you. You respond quite well to your person to listen to your music on YouTube. And one of them, Unbroken, the song that we just played, someone said there is something so uplifting about this song. It fills the soul with hope and joy. Every note feels like a reminder of God's love and faithfulness. Truly blessed to listen to this. So
Wow.
while you might have persons who might say, oh, when it reaches people,
Yes.
they feel the love of God.
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. You're doing this music and then you're balancing that, taking care of your family, and then you're a part of another group. You can tell us more about that. And then you are recording and then you're doing the Dose of Hope radio. How do you balance? Because every one of us have 24 hours in a day.
Look,
How
that
do you
that is
balance
not the
all of
question to ask.
that?
Because I have no clue how I balance all of that. I really don't. I just do. I just do. I'm in another choir with Voices of Fire.
Yes.
That is, I don't know if you're familiar with Pharrell Williams, but he has a choir here in Virginia. It's called Voices of Fire. We actually just got back from opening like the ceremony for the Notre Dame Cathedral in France.
Yeah, okay,
So
you
we
were there.
performed on that. And so and we do a lot of stuff, globally and stateside as well. And so I travel with that, and then I have a Dose of Hope Radio,
Yeah.
which is my new radio platform. And then I also have a Dose of Hope Radio Live, which is the TV platform of the radio show, if that makes sense. And so
Mhm.
I've been doing that for a long time. I have a company by the name of Ado Marketing LLC, and that company is kind of the parent to all of these other companies. Now I have a Dash of Hope with Friends, which is also a cooking show because I can burn, baby. So, so
Absolutely
that
right.
is why all that stuff kind of falls under who Hope is and what I do. A Dose of Hope Radio is dear to my heart because A Dose of Hope Radio is one of them shows that it's completely inspirational and positive.
Mhm.
And I wanted a show that was positive because I come from the newspaper realm. I've worked in it 14 years. I saw the gushy feel good stories go in the trash can, and I saw the good stories, wholesome stories about families or charities, just that good stuff go in the trash. But the stories about murders and rapes and things like that all were front page news. And
Yeah,
so when I left the newspaper realm, I said, you know what? God, give me something that I can do that can put positivity and inspiration in people's timelines. I'm,
yeah.
I'm tired of all the negativity on social media, and so He gave me a Dose of Hope Radio, and so we're 5 years in now. We're in 103 plus countries, over 40 different platforms and radio stations syndicated, and God is just doing His thing with it, allowing me to spread positivity throughout the world. So
Amen.
yeah,
Amen.
excited.
That's just amazing. All you have been able to do, and it's just the blessings that you've used that God has given to you to do all these things,
Yes,
and you've
yes.
added a dash of hope to it.
A dash of hope with friends. And listen,
Yeah,
when I tell you we have a good time, we premiere through the Good View Network, which has about 1 million viewers. And so we're on that platform, but we just started putting our stuff up on YouTube so that people can also see it there. So I'm excited about it. I mean, we really can cook. It's three friends that I have with me, on the show, and all of us together, we just have a good time.
that's amazing. You're doing a lot of things, and
Yes.
I'm tempted to say I want to be like you when I grow up, because
I know you
all,
don't.
all those things that you're doing.
If you want to sleep and have a life, no, you don't.
No, exactly. So that's why I asked you before about balancing, because
Yeah.
that's a lot of things you're
It's not
doing.
easy, but I
Yeah,
enjoy it. I truly,
absolutely.
my kids are grown, My youngest is 23,
Oh, there you go.
and so I'm at a place now where I can just enjoy myself and have fun and create,
So you have all the
and I
time in the world
love
to do
it.
the things you love.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
In terms of your music, you have achieved a lot of success there as well, and you've hit the Billboard charts. How has that recognition impacted your mission and message?
I think it's one of those things that just kind of helps you to get the word out. It has its own, I guess, field of credibility. It helped me get my mission out. I'm not sure about that. I know that, I mean, whether you have a billboard hit or not, you still got to go out here and reach people and love on people and pound the pavement and follow the path that God has given you. So, I don't weigh those things too heavily. I'm just gracious that God has given me that. I think it helps. I think it makes me excited. Of course, I mean, I'm human, right?
Yeah,
Anytime you create content, you want people to like it. You want people to love it. And so when you have a platform as esteemed as Billboard, and you can reach that top 20 in gospel, that's amazing.
yeah.
That is amazing. And so I'm one of those people, did it once, on to something else. I mean, we've also with the choir, Voice of the Fire, we've also
Hmm.
been nominated for 2 NAACP awards as well. And so there's a lot of recognition there that just feels good, and that's
Hmm.
saying, okay, God is smiling on me, but
Yeah.
I truly wake up every day and feel that.
What keeps you grounded then?
I guess the fact that I'm making an impact, right? That means everything to me. When people come to me and say, hey, something you said or something you did has impacted me,
There you go.
and my life is different or changed. I was talking to a young lady yesterday, and I'm a 5-time #1 Amazon best-selling author now. And she came to me and said, I was listening to you speak, and she said, I'm going to go right home and read this book because she said, you have really changed my life. I felt like I was alone. And she was, just going on with that and talking to me about it. As I sat and listened to her, I said, okay, God, that is what this is for. That is what you're using me for. And that means everything.
Amazing. So I'm an independent author and I do publish my own work.
Hmm.
What inspires your writing?
Just life, anything. I've been writing since I was probably about 8 years old.
Yes.
So anything inspires me. I could literally walk in the park and watch the ducks and go home and write a whole book. Like everything inspires me. It comes so easy for me. And that's a blessing because I know it doesn't come easy for everybody. But it does come very fairly, even with songs. I mean, all I need to do is ride down the street and look out the window, and I'm like, that's a song. So yeah,
Nice, nice.
everything.
Can you share a defining moment in your career that meant more to you than anything else?
Mm, wow, that's a great question. Huh? I don't know. I'm trying. Maybe I haven't. Maybe that hasn't come yet for me. But well, I will say this. I did
Yeah.
a tour. I did a tour of Italy and Switzerland. And I did 21 cities in 17 days. And when I was going in and out that city, on the tour bus, when I got there, I could see like billboard pictures of myself, and we were selling out cathedrals one after the other. I mean, it was so many people. They couldn't even all fit in the
Yeah.
cathedrals. They had to be outside with speakers just to hear us. I couldn't believe that that was for me. I
Mm,
really couldn't process that. And so I remember looking at a billboard one time as we were driving from Italy to Switzerland and looking at the mountains and how beautiful the water was and just that whole scene. And God said to me in that moment, your gift is making room. And in that moment, everything became full circle. And I knew that God's hand was in what I was doing. And so I think for me, anytime I get discouraged or anytime I think that, oh man, people don't like what I'm doing, it's like God takes me back to that moment and say, remember when I showed you that right there, to me had to be a defining moment.
that's beautiful. I also learned that you were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis as well.
Yes.
The song Broken, it can
Hmm.
speak to different things in your
Hmm.
life. Was it from a personal place that you wrote that song?
That song was written actually by Ron Summers, but I chose to take the song on because of my illness, multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed in 2012, and I did go into a place where I couldn't use my hands, I couldn't use my legs, I could barely put my feet on the floor. I couldn't see out of my right eye. I went blind for about 6 months in my right eye at one point, and it was so devastating to me. But and what I learned in that process was that people will just look at you and they will disregard you. I felt like I had to become some type of disability advocate because I remembered what it was like and how broken I felt and how alone I felt because I have an invisible illness. So I
Yeah.
wasn't able to show people like, okay, I'm really hurting right now, or I'm really this right now because they dismiss it. And so I went on this rampage about, you know what? I'm gonna help people. I want to talk to people. And even in that, I found the most opposition to be in the church. And so, just because people will dismiss your illness and say, "Oh, well, get over it," or treat you like you have small faith, or and things like that. And so I wanted to get ahead of that with broken because I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, even though we feel these things, even though we're hurting, it's hard to tell a person that's, they need a heart or they're on a heart transplant list to get over it or to
Yeah.
have more faith. And so that song is for these people who go through that. Yeah, our bodies are broken, but we're strong because God said that He is indeed close to the brokenhearted. And so that is why I wanted to do broken because I wanted people who deal with illnesses to be encouraged in God, regardless. You see, look at me. I do all the stuff I do, and I
Yeah.
still deal with, being broken in body. And so that's my thing. That's my superpower. I want people to know that regardless of what you're dealing with, what you go through, no matter how broken your body may seem, God can and will use
Amen. Wow. So that happens to you. You're living your life. That happens to
you.
you. Everything changes.
Yes.
What is the initial thought, and how did you get over those mental challenges?
You know what? It was hard. It was so tough because when you're used to things working fine, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, I was in the gym one day working out, and my right leg started giving out. Every time I put pressure on it, was giving out. Sharp pains was shooting up my leg, and I didn't know what it was. So I realized I couldn't work out anymore. So I said, well, let me go to the doctor, see what's going on. For 4 years, I was misdiagnosed. Didn't know what it was. And then eventually, after all this testing and brain testing and all this stuff, they said, oh, you have multiple sclerosis. I literally have probably 50 to 60 lesions running in between my brain and my spine. I'm not supposed to be able to do half the stuff I do. But
Wow.
at that moment, I was like, oh my God, like, am I going to be able to sing anymore? Am I going to be able to, get out here and work? Like, what's going to happen to me? And I just was devastated. I truly was devastated. Didn't know, what to do, and my hands wouldn't work, and my feet wouldn't move like I wanted them to. And then the only way I could control my hands was to put on gloves. So here I am in the heat of the summer with gloves on, people laughing at me in the store. Oh, it was horrible. And that is what kind of catapult me to who and what I am now.
Overcoming those external forces and then tapping in
Yes.
deeply. Um,
Yes.
what did your faith in God do in those times?
My faith in God strengthened because he was the only person who understood.
Mm,
He was the only person who I could lean on to say, okay, God, all right, this is me and you. This is me and you. And what's funny about that? It takes me back to a moment when I asked God to give me compassion for people. And I prayed about it, and I said, God, give me compassion for people because I didn't feel like I had it. My whole life has kind of been like gravy train. That's what I call it. And so I didn't have a lot of compassion for things. When I see people that was homeless, it was kind of like, oh wow, well, I wonder what they did to deserve that. In my youth. And so I asked God one night for compassion, and in that dream, he gave me a dream. Everything comes to me from dreams. And he sent me in a dream, and in that dream, he put me in every situation. Like
mhm,
a mother with who had a baby as a teenager, a woman who, was addicted to drugs. And I was in all of those things. And when I woke up that night, I remember feeling the pain of what they were going through.
mhm.
And through that, I learned compassion. And so it was no different when I got this. Through this, I learned compassion. And
Yeah,
so, my heart just reeks for people that I see who are dealing with this kind of stuff. And back to Adult Hope Radio, this is also why I have that show, because I have a segment that features extraordinary people.
yeah.
And most of those people are handicapped in some way.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So you're doing the show, and you've been through your own experience. What's the most impactful story you've heard from one of your guests that you've spoken to?
I have a guest that she's actually one of my reoccurring guests because I love her so much. She
Yeah,
goes by the name of Dr. Tawana Williams, and she doesn't have any arms. She was born without arms. And her tagline, she always says, "If God wanted me to have arms, He would have gave them to me." Um, she has very limited use of her legs due
yeah.
to a drug that her mother was given in pregnancy,
Hmm.
and she's a motivational speaker. She goes all over the world speaking, and she just retired. I attended her retirement party a couple of months ago, but she is a force to reckon with. She is
Can
a
imagine.
beast on fire for the Lord, and she has no arms, and she can draw beautifully with her feet. She cooks all her dinners with her feet. She has children. She has a husband, and she can sit there and show you how she how she puts the diapers on her kids and all kind
Yeah.
of stuff, everything with her feet. She is just amazing.
You've
Yeah.
translated all your experiences and all you're doing into music. What
Yes.
does it take to create a song like Broken? What is the process of getting into that booth, or whatever you do with studio and everything? Walk us through that.
Anytime that someone, it's funny because typically I write my own songs.
Yeah,
Broken was really one of the only songs I've ever written that someone else wrote.
yeah,
So when I heard it, anytime I'm choosing someone else's song, I have to make sure that I can relate to it. And so when I heard it, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. And so we basically, I lived with it a little bit. I even sleep with it in my ears with earphones on so they can soak in me. And then once I do that, I go in the studio. We work on the track, and then I start to sing it, and I let them. I live with it a few weeks so that I can just marinate in it, and then I go and say, okay, let's go, y'all. Let's go ahead and lay this down. And so that's what we did. And Reggie Halsey was the producer who produced that, and he got in a really bad car accident a few years ago,
Oh,
and he's in a wheelchair. He's paraplegic, and he actually produced that. And so I'm telling you, this it's just magical. It truly is a magical song.
amazing. So the next song I have to play is Have Hope 2.0. Tell me
Mm.
about this song before I play it.
Have Hope 2.0 is one of those songs that I just wanted people to have hope. I was going through some stuff back when I wrote that a while ago, some
Mm,
years ago. My
yeah.
house was I was losing my home. And so I was praying to God, and I was saying, God, I don't know what to do. I'm in a situation. My house is about to be foreclosed. It was doing a huge, massive foreclosing boom type of thing.
Mm,
Everybody's losing their jobs, and I was stuck in the mix of that. And I said, God, I don't know what to do. I'm about to lose my home. I had 3 children at home, a husband. I didn't know what to do. And I'm driving down the street, and all of a sudden, Have Hope starts playing in my head.
mm.
And I'm like, okay, God, what is this? It's downloading. I pull over the side of the road, and I'm going, okay, God, what is this? So it's downloading. And I'm sitting there, and I'm literally writing as, I'm sitting there. And all of a sudden, here we are with this song, Have Hope.
Amazing. We're going to play that song. When we come back, we'll talk some more.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ooh.
An update tonight in the deadly police shooting of a black man in North Carolina.
Have hope, 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 have hope. Have you ever had a dream for your life? You gotta do it now. So what if you make a mistake? You better get up and get up on your way. Don't let nobody stand in your way.
Protesters
Have
marching in
hope
the
to be
streets
a
today.
brighter
They
day.
want that body cam video released, and they want to see it.
You can do it. Hey, just have hope. Have hope. Have hope. Have hope. Just have hope. Have hope. Have hope. Yeah, yeah. I know that life gets hard sometimes. You gotta fight it hard. I know if God gave it to you, you're gonna get it. He's gonna see you through. Don't worry about the time or the day. Know that God is gonna make a way. Stand up and believe in yourself, or you can do it. Hey, just have hope. Yeah, 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 yeah. You gotta have hope. When you're feeling down and no one's around, even when the bills go man, and even if you feel so sad, I wanna leave hope with you. So have hope, yeah, have hope, have hope, have hope,
Another beautiful song. What I love about these two particular songs is the imagery behind the songs,
Mm,
the real life stuff that you show
yeah.
with the songs that people can relate to. It's real. It's happening.
Hmm.
Unemployment, foreclosure. I don't even know what
Yes.
that's like. To see that you're going to lose your home.
Yes.
What's the gut feeling there?
Wow. It's tough. It was tough. Just again, didn't know what to do, what to say. It was like one of those things like, God, please, like, don't let this happen to me, you know?
Yeah,
And it happened to me. It did happen to me. But what I learned in that was that it, it could always be worse.
yeah.
Life can always be worse. And so when I look back over it, I said, oh, wow, God, I see how you was all in it, you know? And you just put me in a better situation to excel faster, you know? And so hey, it's one of them things now. I don't even worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't. It's like material stuff. I really don't. I could care less about it.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
Yeah, it really nailed that home for me.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. You have been doing music. Most of it, you've had your solo career. Is there anyone that you have worked with or you dream of working with in your music?
I've worked with quite a few people. I've shared the stage with quite a few people. Let's just say
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Um, as far as working with, I think oh my God, like when you say like Pastor Andre Crouch, Marvin Sapp, I've done shows with him. I've done shows probably with just about any male gospel artist out there. Of course there are, artists that I would like to do some. I would have to say I would like to do something with Doe. I think she's pretty dope. I would like to do something with Yolanda Adams. She's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, listen, anybody that wants to share, the God in them or through a song or whatever, I want to work with you.
Hmm.
So it doesn't even matter to me who that is, truthfully.
Nice, nice, nice. Is there any upcoming project that you're excited about?
Yes, yes. I have a new song that's coming out. It's called Big One.
Hmm.
I think I might have sent it to you, but it's called Big One, and the tagline is called Get Out of the Way.
Hmm.
And so this song basically comes from an era where it's back in the 1950s era. It's got a real jazzy tune where people was really prideful, about the way they looked, about the way they dressed, about the way they carried themselves. And the song Big One is like it basically says, tell all the obstacles in life to get out of the way because God has already did the big one, right?
Hmm.
The Lord has done the big one. So he's died for our sins. He's done all of that. So, all these little things that we experience along the way are just potholes. And I
Hmm.
don't want people to take them too serious. Don't take life too serious because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
God has already done the big one. Oh, I'm excited about that song.
And when is that coming?
It comes out March 7th.
March 7th. That's right
March
around the
7th.
corner.
We already shot the video. And I just got word that I'm gonna be receiving the proof tomorrow. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Awesome.
awesome. It's
I,
gonna be
I want
awesome.
I want to spin that. The
Yeah.
excitement is there. You've done a lot of work with the music. Besides the personal challenges, what
Mhm.
kind of challenges do you encounter in creating music?
Um, mm, I can't say that I have a lot of challenges with creating music.
Oh.
I will say that if I am not well rested, if I'm just overextending myself through all of the things I do, I have had to learn balance. Because to some degree, because I have to say, okay, what is your body telling you? Is it telling you to rest? Do you need to go sit out by the beach? Do you need to go, look up at the moon? Like, what is it that you need to do to reset?
Yeah.
And so for me, I think that is very important to me in all the things I do, is that I give my mind and my body that time to reset.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. You spoke about husband and children. Let's
Mhm.
go to that direction for a minute. How does your husband and your children see your music, my wife's music, mommy's music?
Let's go with mommy's music because my my husband and my ex-husband, I'm a divorcee.
Okay.
I think, through it all, he's always been a great support. And with my children, they adore my music. Like they told me the other day, Mom, you need to take, this album, this particular album you had, you need to redo it and just put it out there again because we don't think people heard it, you know. But really, they love my music. They are really encouraged by it. Each of my children can sing, which is
Oh,
so interesting
that's
to me
amazing.
because they
Yeah.
won't. So when I asked them, like, don't you want to sing? Don't you want to, no, Mom, we've seen you go through a lot in this industry. We've seen you cry over this industry. We are not interested. So that's that. But yeah, yeah, yeah. My kids, they love my music.
Awesome. Do you ever think about legacy? And if you did, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Mm. I would like to live a legacy along the lines of, that I was a person that went after my dreams. I was just thinking about that the other day. And I said, God, you are amazing because you've allowed me to be the type of person that no one ever had to hand me a dream.
Hmm.
You know, I never had to wait on it because I was it. I would do it. If I wanted to do something with my life, I would just do it. I might have to sacrifice. I might have to save a little money. I might have to get another job, but it was never an issue for me. I just did it. And
Yeah.
I felt like I said, I am the holder of my dreams. God is the holder of my dreams. And so as long as he's continuing to download into me what to do next, I'm gonna do it next.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't have that.
That's true. That's true. Were you ever fearful of trying any of these things that you're doing? Music, the podcast, the TV show,
Um,
anything?
No, never fearful. I would say though, throughout my life, I've been a people pleaser at certain points in my life.
Mm,
And being a people pleaser, it does make you, you're scared to put stuff out, or you're scared to do stuff because what will they say? Will they like
right.
it? And so that has been a little bit of my problem over the years because I will sit on something if I'm afraid that people won't like it. And
Mm,
I'm just so excited and happy that I'm delivered from that at this point in my life because now it just doesn't matter, right?
yeah,
I can't go off what one person won't like.
that's true.
God has set me up in such a way that I can only cater to who likes it. So if you like it, let's hop on for the ride and have fun. If you don't, then it obviously was not for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of your interaction, then you talk about people may not like it or what people might say. Your interaction with persons who hear the music, let's call them
Mhm.
fans. Share one that was constructive and one that wasn't so constructive,
Um, wow, that's a hard one.
or just a memorable
One that
one.
was constructive.
Yeah,
Someone did mention to me before about a song that I had put out that the music needed to be better produced, different things like that, and so like those things that make a song, right?
yeah,
Needed to be, a little bit better, or come through a little stronger, whatever. And so, okay, that's nice to know. Unfortunately for that, I was, unfortunately for that, the song was already out, and it was nothing I could do about it because we certainly wasn't going back in the studio and to re-let it go because one person said it, right?
mhm, yeah.
And that is the song that I got top 20 Billboard on.
Look at
So one of
that.
those things. I can say it was constructive. I appreciate it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, okay. One of the things that I hear a lot that kind of bothers me sometimes, I wouldn't say a lot,
Mm,
is that my voice, because of the I sing with a nice like R&B style, and I think when people are set on hearing music one way or
mhm,
gospel,
mhm,
then in their minds it's like, oh well, you wasn't singing that strong enough or hard enough. They have opinion of what my vocal sounds like.
mhm.
And so, but the whole time I'm scratching my head like, well, I sung it the way I meant it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
sung it the way I meant it. And so I'm used to that. And that's something that that people pleasing in me has had to push to the side to say, you know what? You did your big one, right? You
Hmm.
sung the song the way you wanted to. You
Yeah.
love it, and that's it. And
Yeah.
so in my years now, my experience now, I've learned to. I just don't even ask people. Like I don't. It doesn't matter to me what they think. It
Yeah.
really doesn't. I just put it out. As long as I'm pleased with it, I put it
Yeah.
out. And guess what? It touches who it touches. It
Hmm.
touches exactly who God wants it to touch. And so
Yes.
when people come to me or they're lined up after I perform and they say, "Oh my God, I was thinking about this and you really blessed me." That's who it was for.
Hmm.
It wasn't for the person that said, "I don't like
So your sound is your sound, your style is your style, and you put that together
it."
and you bless hearts. You might have someone who will critique the style, but the message is
The
there
message is
and it's
concrete.
potent. Yeah. Right. That's there. And that is what the music brings out. And that's what I listen for. I love a
Mhm.
sweet melody, of course. I love a sweet voice, but then
Yeah.
I hone in on the message that the song is bringing.
Yes.
And your songs carry real life potent messages that people can really get something from, as
Thank you. I
we've
appreciate
seen. Another person said on the song that you did, Broken, that it's an amazing ministry. You see,
it.
you do
Mhm.
the song, but it's ministering to
Yes.
somebody, right?
Yes.
And the person said the song blesses them every time they hear it.
Wow.
So that's the kind of thing that happens when you put music out. It may not please everybody,
Yeah.
but that one soul is there somewhere who needs
Yeah.
to hear that, because at some
Yes.
point in time, hope fades,
Mm.
right? And then hope sings a song that brings hope to
That's it.
somebody. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful. Is there anything you're aiming to achieve in this year? Your song is coming up, a big one, March 7. In terms of your projections for the coming year.
Ironically, I said to God at the end of last year, I said, "Okay, God, 2025, I ended 2024 not 100% well with multiple sclerosis, probably been in the hospital maybe 3 or 4 times in the
Mm.
last few months." And I said, "God, 2025, I'm going to relax. I'm going to sit down. I'm not going to be doing all this stuff. I'm going to find a way to make it work and decide what I can stop." And I was in the store, the grocery store, a couple of days ago, and this lady, random lady, walks up to me and says, "I don't know you." She said, "But God is saying to me that you're not going to be able to unpack your suitcase fast enough. You're going to be all over the place, flying here, flying there, doing this, doing that. And you're not even going to be able to unpack fast." And I was like, "Really? Really?" So then, since 2025, I literally have not had a day that I'm not doing something, being called on something. I have a marketing firm as well, so I have a lot
Hmm.
of clients. I just have not been able to rest, period.
Hmm.
And what they say, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans
Yeah.
because he ain't playing with me this year already.
Yeah. 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 Wow. And that's happening on the spot with you, and everything is happening back to back to back. And that's a good thing. Just make sure you're getting enough rest in there so you don't crash
Oh
out
yeah.
in
Oh
time.
yeah. I'm
Right?
trying. I'm
Yeah.
definitely trying to balance.
What would you say to someone who may hear your music, or they are struggling with something that you've been through or something similar,
Mhm.
feeling broken? What's the one thing you want them to know?
That God is in control and that He's close to the brokenhearted, no matter what it looks like, that we serve a God who is able, and that this is how He works. Things in our lives we go through, right? But God is using those things to make us great. And if we don't get stuck in the woe is me, you're gonna see it manifest.
Hmm.
And so I just say tap into God, tap into the greatness that He put in you. Think about the things that you can do and magnify it. Don't lay in wait.
Let's talk to your younger self, that 16-year-old Hope. What would you say to her?
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey. Because I've been doing this a long time. I'm not ashamed to say my age. I'm 51. And I've
What?
been doing this since I was 15. And it hasn't been easy, especially being a people pleaser. It hasn't been easy.
Hmm.
And a lot of things came along the way that were amazing, but I didn't enjoy it because I was too busy belly aching over what I thought it should be. And so I look at that now and I say, God, enjoy the journey because you don't get to do it over,
Yeah.
And I look at my life now and I go back and I said, man, I got a billboard. Man, I was on media base. Man, I traveled overseas. Man, I created songs in Germany. Man, I did a tour, a European tour. And I remember though in the process of those things being like, oh Lord, when it was happening the whole time. I
Yeah.
just chose not to.
Yeah.
And so now I tell people, enjoy the journey, take it a day at a time. Anything that God is allowing you to accomplish, be grateful. Be
Yeah.
grateful. Love it, enjoy it, do it. All of that. All of that. Don't celebrate everything that
Yeah.
God allows you to accomplish. Just like you. You have this amazing podcast. It's there's so many people out here with podcasts now. It's tons of them, but guess what? You are one of the ones who took the plunge and did it, and you're
Yeah.
doing it.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure. For sure. And you know what? I started with a more general podcast, and I asked myself, what do I love? What do I love to do? I love music. I sing, right?
Yep.
Why not just focus on gospel music and
Yep.
share those stories with everybody?
Yeah.
And so I started and I'm going, and there are tons out there, but yeah, I believe that this one has meaning to it because it
Yes.
speaks to the soul of persons behind the music and persons who listen to the music.
Yes.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. Social media has become, it has blown everything up.
Oh yeah.
How has it impacted your music and helped you connect with your audience?
I would say because I come from an era that's pre-social media. When I started doing this thing, it wasn't even a cell phone.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, I don't know that it has impacted it because I still connect with people. That's what I brought Dietrich Haddon here for an event not long ago. I don't know if you know who that is, Dietrich Haddon.
No.
But one of the things that him and I talked about was people don't connect anymore. Everything is through the glass, everything is through the screen.
Yeah.
People don't understand the need to grassroots and to get out here and shake people's hands and hug on people and listen to their stories. And, nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to put it up on the screen and rise to fame.
Yeah.
And so I've never really adopted that. I have, you know, I guess you could say a base of people who know me personally. It's so funny. I have probably about 8,000 people on my Facebook page. And the other day I was trying to clean it up and I was going down the list to see who I could delete that I didn't know. And
Yeah.
I know everybody on there.
Wow.
I talked to everybody on there. So I couldn't figure out, like, I was just like, forget it. Because I
That's a
was
good
going
thing.
down, like, I know this one. I know this one. I talked to this one. Oh, that's so and so. Yeah. I truly have made it my business to get to know and talk to and speak to the people who follow me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
And we don't talk about that anymore because it's
Hmm.
just what's on the screen.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
That's important for us to remember. Somebody is listening or will listen or
mhm,
will have heard your music. A young person,
yep,
they're not sure what to do with the talent that they have.
yeah.
They love music, they have a voice. What do you say to that person?
Um, I would say do your research. Do some, Googling around. Go up to a studio. Ask someone who runs a studio, can you come and sit around? Can you, talk, ask them to give you 5 minutes. Shoot away, ask your questions. How did they get started? How did they get into it? It's nothing like real life interaction. Pray about it. God will send you to the right person and just start working on it. Just get you nowadays you can do half the stuff in your house.
Yeah.
Get Garage Band. I don't know. Get you some kind of app that'll help you, come up with music. Start praying about it and writing your songs. And then that's when you can take that to a studio and say, hey, this is what I kind of came up with in my head. Someone more experienced can take that and just kind of, and go through and go with you. So that I would just say, just do your research and don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Talk to people. There's enough people out here who will help you. It
Yeah.
really is. People just don't ask anymore.
True, true.
Hmm.
So finally, you are an African American woman
Hmm.
You are a musician, and there are so many things happening in the United States, and
Yes.
there are different Black Lives Matter and everything. How do you navigate that? And how do you encourage young people who are afraid, maybe, or they don't know how to navigate? Based on your experience, how
Mm.
do you navigate that?
I think in the United States, we're reaching a climate that most of us are not familiar with.
Mm,
It's just different. Things are just different. And so when you look at, just over the past years with the past presidents and things like that, and then with, me being the age I am, I'm not familiar with a lot of the times when, Black history and all that was an issue. I'm not versed in that, right?
mm,
But now we're having to come face to face with those things again. And we're coming face to face with, leadership that is quite different than what we are used to dealing with. And so I think the reality is that we're all taking it a day at a time. And we don't know from one day to the next what
mm.
it's really going to look like. And that's the
Yeah,
sad part.
yeah.
I pray all the time for compassion, that our leaders take compassion for people. And right now, I think this is just where we are. It's a
Hmm.
stage that we have to go through, even as Christians, as Black people, as just in general, Latinos, whatever. We have to go through this phase, and I just hope and pray that we come out on the blessed end of it. That's
Yeah,
all. That's all I can say. Stay strong,
yeah.
um, stay focused, make smart decisions, and just pay attention. Pay attention. This is my favorite saying. I don't want God to bless what I'm doing. I want to be a part of what He's doing. Right? I don't want Him to. I don't pray anymore. God, just bless my whatever I'm doing. I say, God, put me in the midst of what you're doing. And if we do that, I think
Yeah,
we'll be okay. I think
yeah.
we'll be okay. God's gonna take care of us. And back to my song, right? Why? Because He's already did the big one.
That's a perfect note to end on. It's a perfect way to end. I'm not going to ask anything else. That was perfect, and thank you for sharing that. And I love what you just said. Ask God to make you a part of what He's doing.
Hmm.
Oh, that's lovely. I wish
Yes.
more of us would do that. And again,
Yes.
your songs are absolutely uplifting because there are so many persons who are in a place where they no longer know where to look.
Yeah.
And up
Yeah.
here in Canada, there's a drug epidemic, and you'd be frightened to know that you will walk out on the street and it's right in front of you. About 20 Canadians die every day from a drug overdose. So you can
Oh
see where the
no.
hopelessness is. So your music isn't just out there being a thing, right? It's really helping people to touch base with reality and hold on to God. So thank you for your music, and thank you for sharing your time with me to share your story.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your interest in little old me. And hopefully I'll get to see you because I plan to come to Canada.
Oh, perfect. I hope we get to meet here as well, and I'm looking forward to Big One and the rest of what you're doing. I'm looking forward to more.
All right. Sounds good to me. Thank you again.
Have you ever had a dream for your life? You gotta do it now. So what if you make a mistake? You better get up and get up on your way. Don't let nobody stand in your way.
Protesters marching in the streets today. They want that body cam video released, and they want to see it.
You can do it. Hey, just